We kick things off with a cute cat girl referring to us as dear, and then another cat girl calling us Oni-chan. A third beast girl shows up and calls us Oni-san, which is already enough to make us jealous of the hero. In order to understand how he managed to get into this world filled with cute girls and cat ears, we have to go back a few weeks in time. We see our hero back in his original world, and he admits to us that he is a hardcore otaku. He even calls himself shady and says that he does otaku things even while at work, meaning he hasn't made any friends over there either. He simply did his job and also did his hobby, which was taking photos of pretty girls. Unfortunately for him, as he was 40 years old, there was no way he could date them, and judging from the girls he'd used to photograph, we can safely say that was in everyone's best interests because we don't need the Japanese ditty on comic guzzlers. Our hero then tells us that he would make amateur cosplay costumes for pretty girls, and he'd actually do a good job as well, but the problem is a 40-year-old man making such costumes for younger girls is a bit shady and creepy. We see this when one of the girls who wears his cosplay is told that he's not a decent man. The girls agree to this and even say that they would not even associate with him if it were not for his cosplay skills. This is a heartbreaking moment for a man who gets completely shunned away from society, although it's still hard to say whether he is a shady man or not. We then move back to our hero at work, and it is the same old mundane life for him. He has been pulling overtime night shifts for 3 nights in a row, and he is missing out on a photo shoot he had planned with a cute girl named Aoi-tan. He laments how the sales system's new interface specs were not sufficient, which is why he has been up making these fixes. Our hero's boss shows up from behind and tells him about yet another issue that needs to be fixed, which he immediately dumps on him. Our hero can't really say anything here, so he quietly complies like your average corporate slave. He laments his serious problem of not having a social life and tells us that his only desire was to be popular with pretty girls. He hopes for a better life moving forward, and at that very moment, his consciousness starts to fade. It's almost as if a switch has been turned off in his head, and our hero slowly wakes up after this occurrence. He opens his eyes to see a cute girl mumbling something to him, which seems to be his new name, Norin. The cute girl has tears in her eyes and she is very happy to see that Norin is awake once again. Of course, our hero has no idea what's going on, so he asks the girl who she is and where he is. She is surprised that Norin does not recognize her, so she states her name is Misha. She tells him that he suddenly fell down and lost consciousness, but our hero has only just understood that his name over here is Norin. The cute cat girl tells him to get a hold of himself and take a look at his face. Misha pulls out a tiny mirror from her locket and shows it to our hero, who looks into it and notices that he has turned into a pretty boy with animal ears. As a matter of fact, he is quite close to looking like a girl, but by manga and anime standards, he is definitely a boy. Norin is shocked at first and tries to figure out how things have come to be this way, and that's when he realizes that this could be his new life. He seems to recognize Misha as well, which makes her happy. Our hero tells us that his memories from his past life are starting to mix with the memories of the person named Norin in this world. He finally understands that he has been reincarnated into another world, which is quite different from the Japan he has been accustomed to. Of course, this seems to be highly improbable to others, but not to an otaku enthusiast. The first thing Norin notices is that the people of this world have animal tails and ears, but most importantly, there are a lot more women than men, implying that polygamy is the norm. Also, since there are considerably more females, it also means that they do most of the labor work. The real treasure, though, is that no matter how old a woman gets in this world, she will always look like a teenager, which is paradise for the likes of Norin and Drake. Our hero's mouth starts watering because this is the ideal world for him, but his celebratory pose confuses Misha. She asks if it hurts somewhere, so Norin quickly gathers himself and says he was simply thinking about something else. Our hero is quite happy to have a friend like Misha, who is an extremely cute and pretty cat girl. He has already decided that she is going to be his very first bride in this world, but it looks like their parents have already decided that even before he got reincarnated. As a matter of fact, the two of them have even started living together around 10 days ago as part of the customary cohabitation period before marriage. Misha holds hands with Norin and gives him a cute smile as she does not want him to fall down again. Naturally, this makes our hero very shy as he has not really held a girl's hand since his junior high school's folk dance. Norin enjoys the soft, warm feeling of Misha's hands and can't get over how cute she is. He suddenly realizes that something smells really good, but doesn't clarify what it is. Misha gets confused again by his reaction and asks if he does not wish to hold hands with her. Only a fool would say no to such a cute girl, so Norin says that is not the case. He is simply occupied elsewhere, but he does tell Misha that he enjoys holding her hand. This makes her happy, so she gives yet another cute smile to him. Norin envies the boy who had occupied this body before him, but none of that matters anymore because as of now, he is him. Our hero admits that the memories of his past life seem to be taking over with more dominance, which is making the memories and details of Norin's life a bit fuzzy. The couple reaches a fountain now, so Misha tells Norin to wait for a while as she comes back from it. As Misha hops around with excitement, our hero gets a peek at her garments and it lights up his eyes. He comments on how nimble Misha is and continues to enjoy the view. Misha now comes back with a drink and offers it to her lover boy, as she had considered he might be thirsty. It happens to be Norin's favorite lemonade, and this makes him even more shocked. After all, there was no way a girl would do anything for him back in his past life. He thanks Misha for her kindness, and she is happy to hear this, but she also finds it odd. The cat girl tells her lover boy that he is being a bit too sweet and kind to her today. Our hero is confused, but then Misha explains that right before he had passed out, he was being a bit mean to her. Norin thinks back to the memories of this world and realizes that his parents here had spoiled him quite a bit. Since he is a boy, which is a rarity in this world, he would look down on girls and try to act Sigma with them. However, this reminds our hero of the girls from his world who would look down on him as if he was useless trash. He then laments how he could have been so mean to Misha throughout his life, because that would not make him any different from the girls in his past life. He wants to set things straight, so he reveals to Misha that he has been too embarrassed to be honest with her. This is why he would like to apologize for his behavior up until now, which is the best possible thing the cat girl could have ever heard. She hugs her lover boy and says that she's really glad to be with a nice husband. Norin thanks his stars that he has been given such a beautiful and caring wife, because this is all a man of culture needs. After some time, the couple comes home and all is well for now, until Misha starts to get into her birthday suit. Naturally, our otaku champ begins to panic, and he asks Misha why she is disrobing in front of him. Of course, he should realize by now that it's quite common to do this between husband and wife. Misha also says that he had fallen down and was sweating a lot, so it would be better to take a bath before having their meal. She then proceeds to do the same thing to Norin, who is a bit shy to be treated this way. Misha may not have massive pillows, but she does have something, which is more than enough to turn our hero's face red. It's the first time he's been so close to a cute girl without anything on. And then Misha tells him it's time to go to the bathroom. Our hero also wonders if the drawstring undergarments that Misha is wearing are a personal choice or the norm of this world. Now, it's time for some heaven on earth as Misha washes her hubby's back and asks him if it feels good. Norin has no complaints at all, and Misha lights up even more, as can be seen by her wagging tail. She says that Norin would be quite hesitant whenever she would try to wash him before, but now he is being great. Our hero wonders once again what kind of fool would waste such a precious opportunity with such a pretty wife, so he is glad he has taken over this body. It only takes a simple touch from Misha to make Norin's body react, and then she asks him to raise his arms for her. Norin does as she says, and it allows her to get even closer to him. Her pillows press up against his back, so it would be virtually impossible for Norin not to have any intrusive thoughts. He comments on how he's living the dream right now, and then Misha notices that his elephant is standing up for her. She mentions it to her husband, which makes him shy and conscious. Our hero tries to cover it up, but Misha wants to see his elephant properly, so she removes the towel. The cat girl is clearly amazed by what she is seeing because it is her first time getting such a view. Norin, on the other hand, can't believe that a pretty girl is enjoying a view of his enlarged elephant. Misha proceeds to sniff Norin and states that the men of this world have their elephants enlarged once a year when they go into heat. Clearly, she has no idea of how competent men of culture are almost every day of the year, so she wonders if this will be the only time Norin will awaken his intrusive thoughts. Of course, hearing this is almost unbelievable for our hero because it makes him think of this world's men as herbivores. Now, Misha looks at Norin with dreamy eyes and asks him what she should do next. She does know about men going into heat, but she does not know the details on how to act on it. She has not spoken to her mother about the entire process yet, so Norin figures this is the part where he finally achieves his dream. It is fine to him from a moral perspective too, because he is going to get married to Misha as well, and he can't resist such an opportunity with such a cute and innocent girl. Our hero puts his hands on Misha's shoulders to tell her about his intrusive thoughts, but then he slips and falls on top of her. Of course, he asks her if she is fine, to which she says yes. But then Norin realizes that he has found himself in a shady position with his almost wife. He makes sure to press what no man has pressed before, but quickly realizes his mistake and apologizes for it. Misha says he should not say sorry for such things, because if they are going to be husband and wife, then she will need to cater to Norin's needs when he is in heat. She then gives him an alluring look and asks if they should mate now. This short-circuits our hero's brain, but at the same time, he knows only a fool would say no when a cute girl invites him to do shady things. Norin says yes, and then Misha asks him to be gentle with her as it is going to be her first time. Our hero decides to go for a smooch first, and it will be his first time getting one from a girl, so he asks Misha just in case. She obviously has no issue with it, so Norin gives her the tongue twister 300. He asks if he did fine, but the Misha reacts so happily is more than enough to let him know he did well. She can't contain her excitement, which embarrasses her, but also makes her look cute. Norin can't control the beast anymore, so he decides to go again and upgrades to the tongue twister 900. He has already fallen in love with Misha, but that's fair for an otaku simp. Of course, Misha feels the same way, so they enjoy themselves to no end. After a series of tongue flicking, it's demon time, so Norin places himself on top of Misha. He is finally going to become a man, and Misha is more than ready to become a woman as well. What follows is an extremely shady sequence of events, and Norin can't believe he's finally doing it with such a pretty girl. Misha wants more of the tongue twister 900, so Norin obliges instantly. This goes on for a while, and then we see the couple resting in bed. Our hero reveals to us that between the bathroom and the bed, he and Misha did it for a total of 7 times, so the viewers of Comic Guzzlers applaud him for his achievement. Misha looks really cute even while sleeping, and it makes Norin feel even more affection towards her. He feels that she is a very sweet and innocent girl, so he should definitely take care of her, otherwise karma will punish him. He kisses her on the forehead and then goes to sleep properly. It's morning now, and Norin is woken up almost instantly by Misha, who has made him some nice breakfast. The cat girl smiles at her hubby and calls him a sleepyhead, just like Trump calls Biden Sleepy Joe. Our hero wishes her good morning as well, and only just realizes that whatever he did the previous night was not at all a dream. Misha notices that Norin is looking a bit flustered, so she asks him if he is all right. The truth of the matter is that our hero can see Misha's pillows from her blouse, which makes him excited. Our hero says he's fine and he calls Misha cute once again, after which he calls her towards him. The couple twists their tongues some more for a brief session, and the both of them give shady smiles to each other. Suddenly, Misha notices that Norin's elephant has woken up again, which is quite odd because they did just spend an entire night doing it 7 times. Once again, she should not be underestimating men of culture, but Norin is a bit embarrassed, so he awkwardly tries to explain himself. Misha then states that if her husband is able to go into heat even outside the normal cycle, then it could only mean one thing, which is that he has been blessed with the monarch's gift. Norin is a bit taken aback by this revelation, which states that those with the monarch's gift can go into heat as many times as they want. Essentially, our hero is the only man in this world who can do shady things with girls as many times as he wishes, which means that Comic Guzzlers has found yet another gem for its viewers. The very thought of this makes Norin's intrusive thoughts go wild, and his mouth starts to drool. Now, Misha holds her hubby's hand and says that if he has the monarch's gift, then they should go ahead and make lots of babies. And this is how Norin begins his ideal life in another world, thus providing yet another case of our viewers screaming "it should have been me" in the comments. Of course, all of this talk about having tons of babies may sound good, but Norin tells Misha that they are still young, so they should take more time to think this through. Misha seems to take this the wrong way, and she has tears in her eyes as she says she does not wish to leave Norin at all. Our hero panics upon hearing this, so he tells Misha that was not what he meant at all. The cat girl judges from her hubby's reaction that he may not know about the breakup process of this world. Our hero is completely clueless, so he asks his wife for further clarity. Now, Misha explains that the breakup happens when a couple fails to have a baby, even after trying for several years. The parents decide to dissolve the marriage due to this inability to conceive, which is definitely a bit too extreme. Our hero is perplexed because he does not want Misha to be taken away from him simply over not having a child. Since men of this world only go into heat once a year, there does happen to be a grace period, but it does not extend beyond 3 to 5 years, which means it's tough life out there for those who shoot blanks. This gets Norin thinking, and he believes that it's a very tough system because the men of this world are quite scarce in any way. However, he also knows that there are similar stories when it comes to his own world. Now, Misha says that she does not want to leave Norin at all, which was why she was hoping to have a baby with him soon. Our hero can't stand to see such a sad expression on such a cute face, so he says that he will do his best to put a baby in her. This makes Misha extremely happy, so she hugs her husband and thanks him for his consideration. Once again, Norin comments on how cute his wife is, and everyone will agree when we say she is a total keeper. He also realizes that he can't just sit around here and do nothing. He needs to know more about this new world, so he goes to a library and starts to educate himself on things such as the monarch's gift. Judging from the explanation in the text, it's quite obvious what category Norin falls into. The gift involves gradually bringing a female into heat with a term known as spermatozoa, but with a lot more potency. This ability will bring the female into uncontrollable heat, leaving her unable to resist the monarch's gift. Of course, such a power would naturally invite jealousy and envy, as can be seen in the records of the past. Some of the stories even talk about men with these gifts being executed by their very own people, which is not a good look for Norin. If this is the case, then our hero has to make sure that nobody else knows about his gift, other than Misha. The term monarch's gift is derived from an ancient process through which the people would elect their kings as well. It turns out that the male with the most offspring would be the one who'd get selected as the king. This is why having a cheat skill at procreation would make the decision quite easy. Of course, this only works if what is written in the books turns out to be true. Norin spends the next few days reading up on the monarch's gift as much as he can, while also understanding how this world works. Of course, he does have Norin's memories to help him a bit, But it turns out that the original occupant of this body did not even know the name of this country to be Tokosi or the name of this world to be Truewald. These are not names that Norin would have known from his previous life as well, even when it comes to anime or manga. As expected, this makes things a lot more difficult for our hero. After all, if this world worked in a manner similar to any of the worlds he had watched or seen, then Norin would have been unstoppable with the amount of knowledge he possesses. Oddly enough, our hero is not able to find any records of other countries in this library. This could be due to a restriction placed on information about other countries, or it could serve as a barrier that prevents diplomatic relations between any political powers. Then again, there is one other possibility, which is that Tokosi is the only country that exists in this world. In any case, there is no way for our hero to jump to any conclusions like a toxic girlfriend, so he'll just have to look into this later. Misha shows up and becomes cheerful upon finding Norin, so he pats her on the head and thanks her for the help she has provided. Once again, we are reminded of the fact that it's the women who have to work and support their families due to the number of men being extremely less in this world. Misha seems to work as a waitress at a diner in town, and she is able to provide for her hubby through this job. Now, the cat girl comments on how Norin has been in the library, reading all day, to which he says that there was something he needed to find out. Thanks to the library, he has definitely gained a lot more clarity. But Misha is amazed because her own head starts spinning whenever she tries to read these books. She then asks Norin if he plans to continue with his reading exercises, but he says he will not continue as of now because his wife is here. He wishes to go home now, so Misha climbs on top of a stool and asks him to hand over the books so that she can place them back. The cat girl does not want to risk Norin getting an injury, which is rather kind of her. But the real value to our hero is being able to see everything that is under her skirt. Once again, Misha is wearing the drawstring garments that he loves so much, and the tail only makes it cuter. The cat girl bends over to put another book, which only makes our hero's view a lot better. He wonders if Misha does not realize how much of a view he is getting, and then she hops down the stool as she is done. However, Norin apologizes to her because he is in heat again, because it is quite understandable after getting such a view. Misha is amazed by her hubby's abilities, but there are other girls in the library as well, so Norin will need a moment to calm himself down. Misha comments on how difficult it must be to have the monarch's gift, but things eventually turn out fine. Now, the couple heads out to the market to do some shopping, after which they figure they should head home. Misha asks her husband if there is anything he would like to eat in particular, but he says that anything she makes is delicious, so he is fine with whatever. Once again, Misha blushes and thanks her hubby for being so sweet to her. Now, the couple enters the market and head towards a stall managed by a girl named Korea. Misha places an order, and then we see that Korea is quite cute and curvy as well. She comments on how Misha and Norin are looking extra close today, as it wasn't too long ago when Misha had told her that Norin did not even want to go outside with her. This really makes us wonder how awful the previous Norin must have been. But as of now, our hero is very sweet to Misha, which is what matters to her the most. She does mention that they have not gotten married yet, but that's not the point because she already feels like she has a wonderful husband now. The dreamy eyes she showcases make our hero also blush because no girl has ever spoken about him this way before. Korea is pleased to hear this, so she thanks the couple for their purchase. She also hopes to see babies from them soon whenever Norin goes into heat, but she is obviously not aware of his gift, and the couple would prefer if it stays that way. Now, Korea remembers something, so she brings out a bottle of silver wine liquor from the Alanka region which she just received a shipment of. She decides to throw in the bottle as a bonus, and Misha's eyes light up because she loves this wine. Both husband and wife thank Korea for her kindness, but our hero is taken aback by how cute his wife looks with the bottle. It could be her favorite wine, as she hugs it with joy, but this only causes Norin to laugh at her with affection. This makes her conscious, and she tries to justify her excitement by saying the wine is really good if you add it to dishes and other cooking preparations. Of course, our hero knows exactly what's up, and he reassures Misha that he won't go around thinking she is a naughty girl. That has anyway been established through the shady activities they've been doing thus far. Once again, Misha makes a cute face and she says that her hubby is misunderstanding her energy. Either way, Norin is happy that he gets to have such a conversation with his pretty cat wife. Korea is also delighted to see the interactions between the couple, as it is quite wholesome. Now, Norin and Misha make their way back home, and our hero comments on how Korea was quite assertive back then. Suddenly, the both of them are greeted by a couple of bunny girls who are cute and curvy. Misha seems to know them and asks if they too are on their way home. Now, we learn that these girls are named Love Lem and Love Maya, who are the oldest amongst the 6 rabbit ear sisters who live next door to Misha. As far as Norin's memories are concerned, he can only recall that the second oldest sister, Love Maya, is on friendly terms with Misha. The bunny sisters tell Norin that he is still not interested in girls, which makes him awkward, but of course, he is a new man with a renewed sense of vigor now. He can see that the bunny girls have massive pillows, especially Love Maya. Our hero can't take his eyes off her because he clearly seems to like the imbalance between her pillows and her height. As he continues to check her out, Norin realizes that Love Maya is actually just as cute as Misha is. Now, Love Maya takes a look at our hero and calls him Oni-san out of affection. She comments that he has somewhat changed from the last time she had seen him. She is not able to put this into words, but she gets even closer to Norin and says that he has become a lot more attractive. Naturally, Norin blushes upon hearing this, but that only makes him look cuter to Love Maya. Suddenly, the bunny girl goes down to the ground, so Norin asks what's wrong with her. She explains that her new shoes are chafing up quite a bit, so she has to bend to fix them. Of course, this means that our hero gets another view of something every man loves to see. Now, Love Maya explains that she thought the shoes were pretty when she saw them, so she decided to purchase them right away. However, it looks like she'll have to break them in. She then asks Norin to check out the ribbons on her shoes, but his vision is clearly going somewhere else. He is captivated by the sight and simply agrees with whatever the bunny girl is telling him. She seems to notice his shady thoughts, so she gets up and calls him Oni-san, but while mentioning that he is naughty boy. Of course, Norin has to act cool here, but Misha notices that his face is turning all red, so she asks him what's up. He obviously says it's nothing, but he realizes that Love Maya is kind of like a naughty devil girl. He likes the kind of games she is playing with him and even wonders if she has a crush on him. Later at night, we see the couple at home and Misha has proven to us that she is indeed a woman who loves alcohol. The cat girl has consumed way too much as she continues to chat about the day she and Norin have had today. Our hero is amazed by how energetic his wife can get, but she asks if he is not drinking with her. Norin shows his glass, but at this point, he is probably just drinking to make sure Misha doesn't feel alone. The problem though is that for Misha, way too much means one sip of alcohol, meaning she is a total lightweight. Norin comments that he did not expect to be seeing Misha like this after consuming the sliver wine liquor after their meal. He realizes that some of the people here are very amusing, but they still put in the hard work to make sure they manage to get by. Our hero feels very thankful to Misha and he expresses that to her, but she seems to have something else on her mind, judging from her facial expressions. She falls to the top of the table and comments that the nighttime has arrived, while also stating that lunchtime is very busy. These are obviously the words of a drunk woman, and Misha continues by saying she does mess up from time to time. Norin understands how tough it must be for his wife, so he goes up to her and pats her head while calling her a good girl. He also says that if Misha is having a hard time, then she should just let him spoil her with his skills. At the same time, Our hero laments that there is still a lot about this world that he is not aware of. Having said that, it would be perfect if his life went on this way right until his demise. Now, Misha puts her head up all of a sudden and makes the face of a woman who is going into heat. She calls out to her lover boy, and this is more than enough of an indicator to him. Norin is a man of culture, so he decides he's not going to let such an opportunity slip by. He awakens the tongue twister 900 again and proceeds to do shady things with his cat wife. This goes on for a while, and then it's time to awaken the beast within. Misha hops into bed now that she has the liquid courage of one sip, and then she cutely calls out to her hubby, asking him to mate with her. She also says she loves him, although in a drunken tone. This is all it takes for our hero to lose all sense of control, and he jumps on top of Misha to give her a taste of his shady intentions. What follows is a series of shady activities that showcase how wrong it is for girls to look so young in this world. After the shoddiness reaches its peak, both our hero and his cat girl explode together and then go to sleep. The next day, we see Misha serving breakfast to her lover boy and then asking him if he would like to go to the library today as well. He says yes because he still has a lot to learn about this world. Our hero then makes us feel jealous again by stating he did it 3 times with Misha in the night and it felt super great to him. This also makes him feel great about the fact that he got reincarnated into this world, and he hopes to have a baby with Misha through these repeated activities. Misha says that she has to go to work today, so she will leave with Norin after they're done eating. At this very moment, someone knocks on the door, which puzzles Misha because she was not expecting any visitors to come at this time. Norin decides to open the door, and to his surprise, he notices an extremely cute beast girl standing in front of him. It's now when Norin has a premonition about meeting this girl, believing that this will bring about a new chapter in his life. We notice that this cute girl has a collar on her neck, which makes Norin realize that she could be a slave girl. The collar must be cold and heavy too, but before our hero can make any further assumptions, the slave girl calls out to Misha as if she is her mistress. Misha hugs this girl, revealing her name to be Chai's, and also tells her not to refer to her as Lady Misha because they are childhood friends. It's a rather cute moment that confuses Norin, so Misha decides to introduce him to Chai's. She states that Chai's is the maid she was talking about earlier, but this is not something the viewers of Comic Guzzlers are familiar with. However, Norin does remember this from an earlier chat where Misha had said it would be very difficult for a new bride to handle work as well as the household. For this reason, the cat girl's parents had decided to hire a maid girl who will live with the couple for some time. Now, Chai's bows down to her master and formally introduces herself, and Norin also greets her. Our hero realizes that even though Chai's is Misha's childhood friend, she does seem to be a bit younger than his wife. The fox girl says she's looking forward to working with Norin, who considers to be very small and cute. The collar on Chai's neck does seem to intrigue him, so he takes a closer look at it. As expected, this makes the fox girl a little conscious because her master is getting too close for comfort. Misha tells her hubby not to let his intrusive thoughts take over because that will scare Chai's. Our hero has to act innocent, so he says that he simply thought he had gotten a cute little sister for himself, which was why he wanted to take a closer look. This statement makes Chai's extremely conscious, so she holds her head cutely. Misha asks her if she is all right, but the fox girl can't digest such a compliment. Now, we move to later at the dinner table, where Chai's apologizes for being bamboozled so easily. She says it was mainly because of her being nervous, and she wants to introduce herself properly before the couple decides to hire her. Misha tells Chai's not to push herself, but the slave girl is fine with it. She then explains that her collar is indeed a slave collar which is controlled by the Ministry of Magic. It turns out that in this country, those who are found to be magically gifted in aptitude tests during childhood either have their powers erased or suppressed by these collars. This revelation is a lot for Norin to take in, because he did not know that magic was being regulated by these slave collars. That makes a lot more sense to him, and he concludes that even though it is considered to be slavery, it is just the magic which is being regulated. Chai's adds that she does have a few restrictions, but it's not like she's a criminal or anything. She can act freely, so it will not affect her duties as a maid girl. But Norin is excited over what he has just learned, which alarms the slave girl. Misha asks her hubby why he is being so animated, and he says that he would obviously be excited to learn about magic. He then asks Chai's to teach him everything she knows about magic. The fox girl apologizes and says that even though her master is asking for it, magic is a state secret which cannot be spoken about, unless she is given permission to do so. This makes Norin upset because all his excitement has now gone down the drain. He asks Chai's to at least not call her master as it is weird to him. However, he does not mind the term Oni-chan at all, and it makes Chai's confused. Norin has to control himself, as he says that he's just happy to have a little sister like Chai's with him. His words seem to have a positive effect on the fox girl, so she says she will call him Oni-san from now on. Our hero has a happy reaction to this, but in his mind, he is celebrating as if he has cured world hunger. Now, Chai's asks if there are any requirements for hiring her, but Norin does not understand what this means. Chai's feels embarrassed, so she bows her head and asks whether she should be mindful of things such as not coming close to her master or staying out of his sight. Norin is shocked to hear that such things are asked of slave girls. So Misha holds Chai's hands and tells her that Norin does not care about such things. The fox girl can rest assured that she is in the hands of someone likable, which makes her very happy and grateful. Chai says that she will try her best to please her masters, but accidentally bites her tongue, making it even cuter for Norin. Some time passes by, and Misha tells Norin that she is making Chai's change into her new clothes, so he should wait for a bit to see her. Either way, our hero is sure that Misha's childhood friend is a good girl, and he is looking forward to have her around. Misha tells her hubby that Chai's has expressed her gratitude over having such a nice master, especially because he has treated her like a normal person. On top of that, Chai's has said that she does face some issues with her collar, which makes Norin interested in her life. He asks if Chai's was referring to the requirements given to her by others when she mentioned her past hardships, and Misha says that they did have a role to play. However, the collar has been an issue for the fox girl right from when she was a child. It turns out that some people are mean to Chai's simply because they see the collar and think of her as a slave girl. This world has some very harsh men who most definitely do not like to see slave girls with those collars. The worst part is that Chai's own father did not treat her nicely, which was why she was so surprised to find a man as nice as Norin. Such things make Norin wonder what the class system is in this world, and how people discriminate based on that. Having said that, it is still quite appalling that one collar can cause such an uproar or change of behavior. All of this makes Norin want to be nice to Chai's, so that she can feel something positive about the men over here. Now, Misha tells her husband that she has a favor to ask from him, but then the scene cuts abruptly. We now see Chai's, who has changed into her new outfit, which is really cute. Misha says these are her spare clothes, but they happen to fit Chai's perfectly. Norin says that Chai's does look quite cute, but in his mind, he is thinking that a maid outfit would have been a much better choice. He's not one to complain though, so he simply thinks about making dresses for the both of these girls, using his skills from his past life. Chai's loses her mind again because it's the second time she has been called cute by her Oni-san. Now, Misha leaves for work, and she asks Norin to give Chai's a tour of the house. Additionally, she asks the maid girl to take a look at the tasks she has handed over to her. So both Chai's and Norin agree and say goodbye. Before stepping out, Misha pats Chai's and tells her that it's her first day at work, so she should just focus on doing the best she can. Chai's also wishes her mistress a good day at her job, and then she gets to cleaning. Of course, her outfit is such that Norin is able to see what no man has seen before quite often when she bends down. Our hero finds this sight cute, but also states that it's dangerous for him because he has a full frontal view. It should be noted that Chai's could very well be 18 years old, but she definitely looks like a Diddy or Drake target. The fox girl notices her master looking oddly at her, so she awkwardly smiles at him, which even enhances his feelings further. He also feels immoral for lechang at her now that she has given him such an innocent look. Suddenly, as Chai's cleans the tables, she leaves herself totally defenseless, and our hero can see her pointers from her otherwise flat-screen body. The views are getting a bit too much for Norin to handle, so he has to put a pillow in front to keep his elephant out of view. At the same time, Chai's looks at her Oni-san and thinks of him to be a very cool person. Now, she does the dishes and notices that Norin is looking at her, so she should do her best. Sadly, she ends up dropping one of the plates and breaking it. Chai's is a bit concerned by her mistake, but Norin asks her if she is all right. The fox girl says sorry and promises to clean up her mess right away, but Norin says it's dangerous for her to do so. He goes on to take the pieces and place them on top of the table, but he ends up cutting his own fingers in the process. Chai's asks him if he is all right, but he reveals that he has only pricked one of his fingers, so it's not that much of a deal to him. The fox girl immediately takes that finger and starts to lick it while also apologizing once again for this being all her fault. She continues to do this for a while, and it definitely does not look like something that is family-friendly. Naturally, Norin's intrusive thoughts come to the fore once again, and he tells us that his excitement is increasing due to this constant sucking on his finger. At that very moment, Chai's notices that her master's elephant is standing up to salute her, so she brings it to his attention. The fox girl asks if he is in heat today, but it's not a very simple answer for our hero. Before he can go on to explain himself, Chai's offers to relieve him with her services if he is in trouble. This is clearly a court case in the making, so our hero has to stop Chai's before his own intrusive thoughts turn him into a certified PDF file. Norin now has no other choice but to explain to Chai's how he has the monarch's gift, implying that he can go into heat as many times as he likes. Chai's understands now, and explains that she was a bit flustered earlier because she had feared she would lose her job. She then talks about how she has not been able to keep a job for long because of her slave collar. Chai's was super excited when Misha called her to work at home, so she definitely didn't want to be deprived of that opportunity. The fox girl says that she will do her best to keep the couple happy, so she desperately asks Norin to keep her for longer. Norin can't help but comment on how nice and sweet Chai's is as a person. He would much rather be bullied by other guys than watch her in such a sad mood. Now, we are finally taken back to the favor Misha had asked from her husband. Basically, if he would end up liking Chai's, then Misha asked him to make her his second wife. This comes as a shocker to Norin, but the men of culture at Comic Guzzlers are way too familiar with this. Misha says that she will obviously have to check with Chai's to confirm her feelings too, but she is mostly sure that the fox girl likes her new master. Of course, Norin could not believe this as he was never popular in his past life. To suddenly have two pretty and cute girls as his wives would be way too much for him to handle. However, Misha told him that he is a very kind and loving person, so it would be an honor for her too and her childhood best friend to be brides together. Basically, as long as Norin is fine with it, Misha would love to have him take two wives. Polygamy might be the norm in this world, but even so, our hero wonders if this is really what women feel about marriage here. It looks like he's got it though, so we come back to the present where he hugs Chai's with affection. Norin tells the fox girl that no one is going to fire her or hurt her anymore, and then he wipes her tears off her eyes. Our hero asks if Chai's would like to stay and settle here with him and Misha, as he wants her to become his second wife. This makes her eyes glow as if she has received salvation, and then Norin apologizes for bringing this up so abruptly. He feels that making the fox girl his wife might be too big of a leap, but Chai says that's not what's overwhelming her. She is a slave after all, so she has been wearing this heavy and annoying collar of hers ever since the Ministry of Magic had put it on her. It brings back memories of how her dad got disappointed with Chai's becoming a slave, which led him to banishing her from his sights. Even her sisters would be the same way with her, and they even said some mean statements to Chai's. If this wasn't bad enough, we see how some customers would behave badly with Chai's simply because of seeing her collar. This even extended to families who liked her work but would choose someone else simply because they were not slave girls. Since the poor fox girl has been hated all her life, she is more than happy to become our hero's wife. Norin hugs her and promises to take good care of her too, which leads to a rare, wholesome moment here at Comic Guzzlers. With that, it's time for some action, so Norin starts off with the Tongue Twister 300. After they are done, Norin runs his hand across Chai's collar, and that's when something strange happens. Her slave collar starts to crack, and before she even knows it, the entire thing breaks off her neck. Both Norin and Chai's are shocked to see this, but they have no idea how this has happened. The two of them are still in shock over this situation, and Norin apologizes because he did not expect the collar to break so easily. He then asks the fox girl what would happen if such a thing were to happen, but is told that Chai's would lose her life upon the collar breaking. Now, it's time for a flashback where we see someone from the Ministry of Magic asking Chai's about wearing the collar. He wants her to believe that it's not as unpleasant as it looks, and then he explains that her collar has been specially made. It can only be removed by a key which is controlled by the Ministry of Magic, and it cannot be broken either. If at all, Chai's magical talent were to disappear immediately, then it would dissipate on its own, but the probability of that happening is very much close to zero. In other words, the collar will only come off Chai's if she loses her life. Now, we're back to the present where Chai's finishes explaining her collar story to Norin. What strikes our hero is the use of the term magical talent, and not magical power. Chai's reveals that she has been called to the Ministry of Magic once every month since the collar was put on her, but for a year. This was to understand the magic to which she is best suited. The collar seems to have a control function that disables magic, but this is not applicable to special rooms in the Ministry of Magic. Here, she can use her powers as she pleases, so now Norin is even more confused as to why the collar broke. Normally, it would be impossible to remove or break the collar, and Chai's is still alive, so Norin wonders if she has lost her magical talent. Chai's does not know it either, so she asks if they should try and test her powers. Norin would love to see that, but then he remembers that magic is a state secret. He is not sure if it would be safe for him to see it from Chai's, and she agrees that showing or teaching magic to others would normally be a crime. However, since Oni-chan will become her husband now, she has been told that it is okay to talk to family members about some things. She can also show him her aptitude for magic, so things have worked out quite well for our hero. Norin wants to take a look at it right away, so the fox girl obliges. She proceeds to do some chanting, and then her body starts to undergo some kind of process. Norin watches on as his new wife activates her powers, and now it's time for him to test it out. We can see the both of them at Korea's shop, and Norin seems to be making some odd poses in front of her. He is not visible to her at all, and this is because of Chai's using something known as recognition inhibition magic. The fox girl clearly seems to have her powers in place, which is a great thing for her new husband. Chai's herself is glad that she was able to use her powers for the first time out of the Ministry of Magic, so she is grateful to her master. She does warn Norin that if he bumps into or comes in contact with someone else, then they will become aware of him. He says fine, but is still ecstatic over the fact that Chai's can use such magic. Now, our hero comes across Love Maya and her sister Love Lem, so his intrusive thoughts are woken up. Norin decides to take a sneak peek of their garments while the both of them talk to each other about what kind of dish to take from the market. His shoddiness knows no bounds as he finds out that Love Maya is wearing garments with pink stripes today. He also can't get enough of her plump and irresistible peach. But then Chais shows up and makes Norin aware that she can still see him. Our hero realizes that he is being a bit too shady, so he tries to cover up for his questionable actions. Now, Chais hesitates a bit because it is a little embarrassing for her, but she asks her master if he would like to see hers as well. He is a bit flustered at first, but then he asks if he actually can see it. Chais says yes as long as her Oni-chan seriously wants to look at it. Now, the fox girl goes ahead with her shady display, even though this is something she should definitely not be doing out here in public. Norin does his thing and enjoys the view while also commenting that he never imagined he would get to do such things in another world. Magic truly is amazing, but then it gets a bit too much for Chais to handle, so she falls to the ground and begins to act flustered. Norin asks if she is all right, but the fox girl is done for, so he carries her back home. Misha is already there, and she welcomes them both, but she is shocked to see Chais in her current condition. So she asks what happened. Norin gives his wife a brief explanation on how the day had gone, which makes Misha realize how much has happened in her absence. She asks Chais if she is fine, and the fox girl apologizes for making her worry. She then thanks Norin again, so our hero tells Misha that he has asked Chais to become his second wife. She is surprised to hear this so soon, but then Chais explains how her Oni-chan is so nice and sweet to her. She is happy to be around him and also finds him cool, so she has fallen in love with him. Hearing this makes Misha really happy, so she hugs her childhood friend as a form of congratulations. Chais is taken aback by this show of affection, and it makes everyone happy. We now move to Norin, who is lying in bed and talking to us about how a lot of action has happened today. He realizes that Chai's collar of slavery is probably some kind of magic item which broke once he touched it, leading him to believe that he might have an Imagine Breaker ability like Toma. However, he was affected by Chai's recognition inhibition magic, proving that he might not have such a skill. Then there's also the case of the magic spell which Chais had cast by herself. It is some kind of combination which sounded a bit too complex for him, but it did sound like some kind of computer SQL language which he had studied in his previous life. It leads him to believe that the magic of this world is probably arranged like some kind of database. Norin does not know who has set up things to be this way, but it most likely has to be someone from the world of Japan. This means that there have been other people who have reincarnated here other than our hero, and it is also quite possible that they are still around. What's more important, though, is that both his wives are coming to bed for some shady activities. From the looks of it, this day has a lot more action to be enjoyed, and our hero is more than happy to accommodate it. We are still a bit unsure about Chais, but she could definitely be out of Drake's legal bracket. Misha now says that from today onwards, the three of them should work together in order to make a baby happen. Chais is nervous and shy, but she is also on board with the idea, although she bites her tongue yet again while saying it. Norin readily agrees to it, just like any other man of culture, but he is not sure of how one baby can be shared by two wombs. Misha says that Chais is new to this, so Norin needs to be gentle with her, and he understands that, especially as the fox girl asks her new hubby to teach her well. What follows is a shady sequence of events that are too graphic to be shown on such platforms. Our hero bears it all and lies down to welcome his waifus to do as they please with him. It turns out that licking ears seems to make your senses tingle, just as Norin finds out here. Come to think of it, this is kind of like how cats would be cute with each other, and that's exactly what we're witnessing in front of our eyes. It's amazing to Norin, and the fun continues for a while so that he can totally experience heaven on earth. Of course, a man of culture will not give in so easily to his wife babes. so he decides to turn the tables by awakening the beast within. Now, it's Norin who has the upper hand as he violates the girls with shady intentions. Both Misha and Chai's are way too cute and alluring for any man to resist, so Norin continues to have his way with them. After an intense session, Misha and Chai's invite his elephant into their kitty holes. Chai's watches on as her husband takes care of Misha with ease, and then even the fox girl gets in on the action. The shoddiness reaches its peak soon enough and continues that way for a while. Eventually, Norin unleashes his elephant water into his wives and fills them up with happiness and mayonnaise. They are also content with all the explosions they received, so it's time for some rest. We now move to the next day where Chai's is late to arrive at the breakfast table. She apologizes for taking more time than usual, but that's fine when you have just gotten done with your first experience. Misha also says that it is only normal for Chai's to want more rest after the events of last night. Norin says the exact same thing too, although he is actually the reason Chai's got into this situation in the first place. The fox girl thanks Misha and her Oni-chan for being so nice to her, and then Misha asks her to come closer and close her eyes, so she does as she is told. Misha now tells Chai's to open her eyes, and the fox girl notices that she has been given a locket similar to what Misha is wearing. Norin says that it looks really good on Chai's, and more importantly, Misha is glad that they now have matching lockets. This obviously makes Chai's a bit emotional, and she calls back to the time when only her mother would support her with all her love even though the rest of the family had cast her aside. In the beginning, Chai's believed that no one else was on her side, but then Misha came along and asked her to play with her one day. Chai's had refused because she feared that even Misha would get cast aside if she played with her. However, the cat girl did not care about the others and only wanted to play with Chai's. The girls became friends, and then Misha told Chai's about her dream to be the bride of a kind and loving husband. The fox girl said it would be easy for Misha to get one because she would make for a great wife. However, since she had a slave collar, she would have to serve as a slave for the rest of her life. Misha then told her not to worry because she is cute and should be able to find a man easily. It was at that moment when Misha made a pact with Chai's to become brides together with one loving husband. This may have been a promise made by little kids, but Misha has kept her word and ensured that Chai's will now have a good life. She is overwhelmed with happy feelings due to what Misha and Norin have done for her, and she finally gets to live the life of a bride. This is, of course, a great wholesome moment, but our hero knows that it's not going to be so simple. After all, magic is a very powerful concept in this world. Chai's recognition inhibition ability worked so well that it could easily be used to create an S-tier assassin or spy. Due to this, Norin sees the reasoning behind trying to control magic in this world. So, he has to be very careful not to let the Ministry of Magic know about what has happened to Chai's. Elsewhere, we see the night sky, which is being appreciated heavily by Love Maya, the rabbit girl. She wants to enjoy the starry night, but then her bunny ears catch drift of all the shady and unspeakable things that Norin is doing with his wives. It's rather loud to Love Maya and extremely shady as well, so she also awakens her intrusive thoughts and comments on how exciting it is to hear such things. The noises are more than enough for her to start getting into her own solo mission. Love Maya continues to feel herself up while talking to herself in shady fashion. She also refers to Norin as Oni-san, meaning her kitty is hungry for his elephant as well. After these multiple shady sessions, we move to the library where Norin is reading up on this world's affairs, but we also see the bunny girl there with him. After some extensive research, Norin gets frustrated as he is still not able to find any useful information on the slave collar. We learn that, after the collar incident with Chai's, our hero has spent a few days going through each and every book in the library. However, he was still not able to find even one article on the concept of slave collars. He then takes a seat and laments that things will not turn out well if the Ministry of Magic were to find out that their collar of slavery is no longer working. In a brief flashback, Norin goes to Chai's, who is chilling with Misha, and he presents to her what looks exactly like a collar of slavery. Both of our heroes' wives are shocked to see that he has such a thing with him, but he tells them that he has simply made a fake one. He feels that it would be a good idea to keep it on while Chai's is outside so that nobody can suspect anything. After all, our hero can't have the Ministry of Magic knowing this till he has come up with a solution. Misha is impressed by her husband, and so is Chai's, who tells her Oni-chan that she can walk outside confidently now that she has a fake collar. It turns out that Norin's ability to make accessories in his previous life have come in handy once again, as he used them to make this collar. Now, we are back to the present, where our hero is resting his head on his desk, but is also worried about the current situation. He may have made a fake collar right now, but if there are any other special features about the collar, then the Ministry of Magic will detect it quite easily. This could include reacting to certain frequencies of light and sound too. Now, the bunny girl shows up behind Norin without him realizing, and then she whispers Oni-san into his ears. Naturally, this scares Norin, and Love Maya laughs while also apologizing for her behavior. Our hero is surprised to see the bunny girl here, so he asks her what she's doing in the library. Love Maya calls him mean for asking such a question, because she has been near him this entire time, and he still did not notice her. Norin apologizes and says that he was actually lost in thought, but he would still like to know what Love Maya is doing here, and what her objective is here. Love Maya teases our hero by asking whether he was thinking about his wife Misha or his new maid girl, Chai's. Norin laughs and says that he did not tell Love Maya yet, but Chai's is going to become his second wife. This comes as a shocker to Love Maya, because she did not expect Norin to Rizz two girls so quickly. He simply says that a lot had happened since they met, and it led to him asking for her hand in marriage. The bunny girl is still flustered, but she retains her composure and congratulates Norin for being able to pull this off. The look on her face makes Norin wonder if he has done something wrong here, but then Love Maya asks him if he was looking for any book in particular. She did notice that he was trying to find something specific, so our hero wonders if he can trust Love Maya with his quest. Of course, he does not say anything explicitly and simply says that he was looking for a book on magic. Hearing this makes Love Maya a bit alert, and she reminds Norin that magic is forbidden in this country. He instantly realizes that he's in dangerous territory, so he tells the bunny girl that it has always been a dream of his to learn magic. He even cooks up a story of how he imagined making flames as a kid, and he states that he simply wants to find a story that has magic in it. This puts Love Maya at ease, and then she says that using magic is great, but in order to do so, you need to have the talent for it as well. Norin agrees that this would be the case normally, but only as long as the magic is managed in a database and you have access to it. This prompts our hero to go to a flashback when he had activated his big brain energy, and he realized that in order to use magic, one would need to use certain statement to narrow the search results down to a single search. The final narrowing condition for that gets achieved with a keyword, thus making magic a simplified computer command. This was done in front of Chai's, who was surprised to see her lover boy identifying magic so easily. Of course, Norin had thought of the whole thing to be quite strange right off the bat, and he even tried to decode the whole thing in his head at that point. His calculations led him to believe that the magic casting here is nothing more than a filtering condition, and there could be another level in the table structure. Of course, these words became too much for Chai's to follow, so Norin had to calm down with his intense reasoning. He gives us a quick and easy explanation now. Basically, Chai's and the others have been taught a keyword set in the magic spells. These keywords are assigned because it is the only way to use magic which is not known. The other theory he has is that if you overwrite that keyword with something else, then the magic becomes entirely useless. Our hero believes that the Ministry of Magic has used keywords as some kind of contingency to be able to control the magical powers of others, because it would come in handy if collars were to be broken or destroyed. However, his thoughts go on a completely different tangent, because it does not make sense to use SQL language for casting a magic spell in the first place. This may not even be an original system, but rather a streamlined version that does not require long chants or utterances. This does not collude with the idea of using keywords though, because the creator of magic has used a database of magic and has forbidden the exploration and development of the same. Essentially, the creator of the system wishes to have complete and utter control of the magic. If this is true, then even Norin can access the magical database and gain powers of his own. But if he were to imagine the worst-case scenario, then he'd rather not test it out right now. Our hero is back to the present now, where Love Maya who tells him that while it may not have anything to do with magic as such, there is an old stone monument which is quite mysterious. It has been engraved with a foreign script that the people of this country are not familiar with, so the bunny girl figures that Norin would like that kind of thing. As expected, our hero does get excited hearing about it, and he wants to explore the monument, so he asks for the location. Love Maya acts like a tease and says that she does not know if she should reveal these things to our hero. She then acts as if her shoe has fallen off, and asks Norin to get it for her. He is confused by this behavior at first, but when he goes down to check for the shoes, he notices that Love Maya is showing her garments to him in full flow. She is not even trying to cover them with her legs, so Norin is being given quite the view. He goes into heat again as he goes towards the shoe, especially over the blue stripes design. This happens to be his favorite pair of shoes indeed, because they have given him access to such a sight. He eventually puts the shoe back on Love Maya's foot, although he would love to peek at her a bit more. Of course, that would be extremely suspicious, so he decides to control his intrusive thoughts for now. The bunny girl obviously knows what she is doing, so she asks our hero if he ended up seeing her garments right now. Norin knows exactly what she's talking about, but he has to act innocent, so he asks her what she means by this. Our hero has to change the topic now, so he asks Love Maya about the stone monument she had mentioned earlier. The bunny girl says she could let him in on it, but first she has something else in mind. Love Maya grabs Norin's hand and takes him along to have something sweet with her. He is confused by what's going on, and then she stops by a shop full of clothes because they have some new items in stock. Love Maya asks Norin if she can go and check out the store, to which our hero says that she is a girl after all, so it is only natural for her to want to check out clothes. He is ready to follow her anywhere, but then he finds himself in a tricky spot as he is now in the undergarments section. This is heaven for most men, but Norin already has 2 wives, so he needs to behave himself. The bunny girl makes it even harder for Norin by showing him some options for spicy clothing, and asks him which of them he prefers. This is clearly torture for him because he would have probably awakened the beast within already if he did not already have Misha and Chai's. Love Maya does not hold back as she asks Norin if he was already imagining her in these clothes. But he fights hard and says that he does not know what she is talking about. The bunny girl is not going to just stand there and take this, so she decides to buy both the items to tease Norin even further. After this, the both of them go to a sweet shop for some parfait just like Jin Toki likes it. Love Maya sure loves the dessert, and Norin nods in agreement. Our hero wonders if this counts as a date, especially with him having 2 wives, but marriage has never stopped a diddler before. Love Maya totally wants Norin, so she starts licking her spoon while saying the cream is really delicious. She then comments on how fresh the fruit is while sucking on the cherry, after which she comments on how delighted she is. Norin can only watch on and enjoy the sight in his fantasies while trying to be completely normal in front of Love Maya. The bunny girl has clearly played this game before, as she tells Norin that he has some cream on his cheek. He panics and asks where it is, so Love Maya puts her finger on his cheek and takes the cream off. She proceeds to lick it with her tongue, and she calls her Oni-san cute too. This will make any man of culture want to give her his nut cream as well, especially when she teases Norin by asking if this counts as an indirect kiss. Our hero is baffled by the bunny girl, but he has now identified that she is a little devil when it comes to flirting. Now, Love Maya drops some cream on herself as well, which clearly looks intentional from her end. She says that she can't laugh at her Oni-san anymore because she has done the exact same thing. Our hero asks her if she has gotten some cream on her clothes, but she says that it's fine since it fell right on her thigh. This is a bit too extreme for Norin, but Love Maya isn't done yet, as she asks him if he would like to lick it this time off her. This puts instant intrusive thoughts into Norin's head, and he is already picturing himself doing this shady act. However, he is too unsure of what to do, so he wonders if Love Maya wants him to take the cream off with his finger and then lick it. Either way is quite shady, so Norin should really focus on what's important here. He figures he needs to man up right now, so he tells the bunny girl that he already has 2 brides to take care of, so he can't be doing such things with another girl. Love Maya says that's quite a shame because she would not mind such a thing at all. It leads Norin to wonder if it really is okay for men with wives to be doing shady things with other girls in this world. Now, the bunny girl has something she wishes to ask her Oni-san, so he tells her to ask away. That's when she mentions that he too must be someone who has reincarnated from another world. This implies that there have been other people too who have come from other worlds, and it has made things a lot more interesting for our hero. Before we get into any further detail here, the manga author has decided to bless us with a bonus chapter that involves Norin getting a bath from his 2 wives. Misha is basically teaching Chais how to wash their husband's back, and she looks on with a lot of concentration. She tries it too and asks if her Oni-chan likes what she is doing. He obviously says yes, but his elephant is feeling things a bit too much, so it causes issues for him. Misha wants to do the front now, so she notices that her husband is feeling lively once again. However, she takes this as a chance to teach Chais how to wash Norin's elephant, as it is a lot easier to do so when it is standing. The girls continue with their class while Norin enjoys whatever is being done to him, and he starts to make some sounds. Misha gets worried, so she asks if she is hurting her hubby, but he says that he is only making these noises because it feels really good to him. The cat girl is happy to hear this, so she decides to continue with the fun. The girls continue with their job, and even though Norin is aware that they are technically trying to scrub him, the feeling is just too good to resist, especially with such cute faces looking at him. He is about to unleash his elephant water in front of Chai's innocent gaze, and for some reason, that makes him more excited, which is essentially his inner diddler waking up. Suddenly, Misha says that Chais can wash her husband's legs while she's at it, which confuses our hero for a bit. The fox girl is told to do these things gently, so she carries on with the process innocently. This only makes things a lot better for Norin in terms of sensation, so he warns the girls that he is about to finish. That is exactly what happens soon after, so Norin gets the happy ending he was hoping for all along. Now, we move back to the main topic at hand, which is Love Maya correctly guessing that Norin has been reincarnated from another world. She asks him this question once again to further his panic, but he decides to spin it around. He asks Love Maya if she too is a reincarnated soul, now that she has made a guess regarding him. She reveals that she is indeed a person who got reincarnated here. She then explains that a few days after her 5th birthday, she was in bed with a very high fever. In the midst of this fever and highly dazed state, she was suddenly flooded with unfamiliar memories. These were memories from her past life, and she recalled falling unconscious while climbing up the stairs at the station. This caused her to fall down, and that was when she realized that it was this event which led to her coming to this world. She was affected by this mentally, and reveals to us that she too is an otaku girl who is very familiar with anime, manga, and light novels. However, she ended up in the worst possible world for girls because men are so rare here. It turns out that it is the scarcity of men that makes them grow up in pampered families, which then causes them to have horrible personalities. It also explains why the previous Norin was such a jerk to a sweet girl such as Misha. Polygamy is the norm over here after all, and girls don't have much of a choice when it comes to choosing their mate. All these realizations made Love-Maya lament being born into this world. But then her sister Love-Lem came to her with a drink to make her feel better from her illness. Even her mom showed up then to tell her to take it easy as she should focus on recovering. This was followed by her two younger sisters cutely asking her if she was okay. All these things made Love-Maya feel better about her life, as her family members truly did care for her. This led her to conclude that she was going to live this new life to the best of her abilities. Now, we are back to the present where Love-Maya explains that she has lived a rather easy life here and hasn't done anything special at all. However, Norin does admit that this world is set to a default hard mode for girls. Now, Love-Maya says that she has recently been thinking about how good it was for her to be reincarnated as a girl. Norin asks her if anything has led her to feel this way. So she says that it's because her Oni-san is looking at her with shady desires, causing him to blush out of embarrassment. The bunny girl enjoys this reaction and comments that this is how boys are supposed to react when she flirts with them. Norin finally admits that he has never had a girlfriend before, so he does not know how to handle such comments from a cute and curvy babe. Love-Maya realizes that Norin has only recently recovered his memories, so they continue chatting for a while about what his intentions are. Our hero tells Love-Maya about his plans to continue with his research, but makes sure not to reveal anything about magic or Chai's slave collar to her. After all, in such situations it would be better never to trust anybody. After he is done, Love-Maya asks him if he has noticed how odd and unnatural this world actually is. Norin doesn't follow at first, but then Love-Maya explains the infrastructure to him. There is a proper system for drainage and sewage quite similar to that of Earth. Due to this, Love-Maya is able to take nice baths every day, and some houses even have what is essentially a water heater. Even the toilets flush properly, and this makes our hero realize what the bunny girl means to say. This world may look like a Western fantasy, but the level of technology is far above that, although it's not something Norin is complaining about. There's also the fact that the same plants from Earth such as lemons and silver vine exist here as well. From all that has been discussed, Love-Maya states that this world is quite similar to a theme park. Norin agrees with her because this fantasy world becomes way too convenient for those like them who have reincarnated from another world and also remember their past lives. This leads our hero to deduce that there is definitely some kind of connection between this world and his original world. Suddenly, it strikes him that the world's name Truewald can roughly mean true world in English, and the country name Toko Sea translates to eternal. Love-Maya brings up the stone monument again, and that's when Norin remembers what she said about it being written in a foreign script. Our hero connects the dots, just like the bright viewers of Comic Guzzlers, and realizes that the foreign script is none other than the alphabet of his world. The bunny girl nervously confirms this, and Norin gets even more excited now. Love-Maya asks him if he would like to go check it out, and he says yes instantly. On their way to the stone, our hero asks Love-Maya if she too was a proper otaku like him, to which she says that she was the gloomy kid in class who would draw pictures all the time due to her love for anime and manga. There is a plug for ReZero, where both characters talk about how much they love the show as well as the web novel. Love-Maya says that she loves the heroine Lia-chan, but if she were to pick a favorite, it would definitely be Remington. Norin says the same name at the exact same time, leading to hilarious timing that makes both of them laugh out loud. Love-Maya says that it's been a really long time since she's been able to speak like this, and she enjoys talking like a proper otaku to our hero. Norin agrees and says that he is willing to hang out with her for as much as she wants. He too is glad to have found an otaku friend, especially after losing contact with all of his buddies. The duo continues to talk about manga and anime, after which Love-Maya reveals that she used to be one of the home cosplay girls. She used to do it a lot, so Norin playfully teases her about this passion. Our hero then reveals that he used to create cosplay costumes for girls back in his world. This amazes Love Maya, so she tells Norin that they should get together and create a cosplay costume as well. As expected, his intrusive thoughts run wild again, as he imagines Love Maya in all kinds of shady outfits. Eventually, the duo reaches their destination and they just have to climb some stairs now. The bunny girl decides to go up first because she wants Norin to get another glimpse of her garments. This makes our hero flustered yet again, leading him to wonder if the women of this world are really so careless because there aren't many men around. However, this was definitely intentional from Love Maya as she giggles upon noticing Norin staring at her, just as she had expected. Norin definitely likes the bunny girl's shapely peach, and then she even bends over complaining about the number of stairs. This obviously gives our hero the perfect view, and he is clearly affected by it. Love Maya takes this chance to look back and catch him in the act, calling him a naughty boy in the process. Norin casually laughs over getting caught in the act, but in his mind, he knows that Love Maya is a naughty girl too, because she is intentionally flashing him. Anyway, the duo continues with their efforts, and they finally reach the top of the stairs. Love Maya celebrates while Norin comments that it is quite tiring to keep going straight up. They notice the stone, so the bunny girl tells her Oni-san to hurry up. Norin finally gets a good look at it, and to his surprise, the stone indeed has the English alphabet on it. He wonders how long ago it was made because the stone does look pretty worn out and chipped in places. Upon closer inspection, we learn that there are English letters on the stone, but not in the same sequence as the alphabet. There is no trace of Romanese Japanese either, so Love Maya wonders what this is supposed to mean. Norin activates his big brain energy and states that this could be a cipher or a puzzle. If that is the case, then he will need some time to figure it out. The bunny girl is excited to hear this, so she wishes her Oni-san all the best. After a bit of time though, our hero is at his wits' ends as he is not able to figure anything out. The stone puzzle can't even be read vertically, so he is not sure what it is anymore. He tries to use more of his big brain energy and notices that the letter C on the top left is skewed. That means it's a clue, leading Norin to realize that he has to read the cipher diagonally. Upon doing this, he is able to identify the word connect, which is a great start. Norin tells Love Maya that he has cracked the code, and he has to read the whole thing diagonally. The bunny girl is impressed by this, so Norin continues with his efforts. He is able to solve the whole thing, but is not sure if his findings will be able to help him in any way. Later, we see Norin sitting next to the fountain, thinking about he has almost figured it out. Now, we move to a brief flashback to when he had first realized the trick to reading the stone. Love Maya is told that there is a hindrance here, as Norin explains how he can read words like connect and option, but there is a section on the stone which is cracked, rendering it unreadable. There's no need for immediate suspicion as it is an old monument, but Norin is not going to give up, and will see if there is anything that he can do to decipher the code. Love Maya says she too will look around to see if there's anything she can find, so she has Norin's gratitude. She waves farewell for now, but Norin laments that they could not find anything of value today. Anyway, we're back to the present where our hero tries to make sense of the words he did decipher. They happen to be connect and DB, which are both used as commands while doing incantations for magic. The spells that Chai's taught Norin would always be followed by select statements. However, this adds confusion to the word option, which Norin believes might also mean optional. He concludes that he has no proper idea yet, so he hopes for the missing stone piece to be found and also makes some sense to him. Suddenly, our hero hears some commotion by the fountain, and we see Love Maya protecting a couple of girls from some bully boys. The bunny girl is trying to convince the boys to let the little girls go as they are saying sorry for their actions. It turns out that the girls accidentally splashed water over a boy named Roa. His follower is adamant that Roa's clothes have been ruined, even thought it's just a little splash. Love Maya finds this to be extra cringe. So she tells the boys the water will dry out in no time. The crazy follower says that it does not matter because the girls have picked a fight with them, so they need to be taught a lesson. The follower is rather crass, which explains why his worth is nothing more than a pet dog for another man. The innocent girls say again that they were not trying to pick a fight, and they apologize once again. Roa turns out to be an extremely privileged brat too, as he says that he will land only 3 hits as he is a forgiving person. The bunny girl calls him out by saying he should not hit the girls at all if he considers himself to be generous. The crazed follower tells Love Maya that she is quite cheeky to pick up a fight with Roa, and then he raises his hand to whack her. The bunny girl prepares for it, but then Norin shows up and stops the follower from doing so. Love Maya is thrilled to see her Oni-san in action as he puts the follower aside. Our hero tells the brats that he is not too sure of what has happened, but violence is not the answer here. Now, Roa gets agitated and asks Norin if he knows who he is. Not that anyone is interested, but Roa's watchdog still states that his master is one of the elite males of an esteemed clan, so it should not matter who Norin is if he is challenging him. Our hero is told to keep his mouth shut, but he only laments how lame these 2 brats are. Basically, an esteemed clan is one that produces more than 5 males, leading them to receive all kinds of benefits from the government. However, it's not like they hold any real power at all, so Norin cringes at these boys. Our hero realizes that the brats truly believe they are in a higher position than him, so saying the girls are his friends will not work. Norin has no other option now, so he says that he most definitely has something to do with Love Maya as she is his fiancée. This shocks everyone, including the bunny girl herself, but Norin stands his ground and says that if Roa and his dog try to harm his fiancée and her friends, then he will most definitely not just stand there and watch. We learn that in this world, the law states that harm to one's spouse or fiancé is considered to be harm to the both of them. So, if you end up harming one's fiancé, then it would be the same as harming the male, which is a punishable offense. Norin calmly tells the useless Roa that in the worst-case scenario, he could lose his esteemed clan title due to his shameless behavior, which makes him angry. His dog has nothing of value to add, which is not surprising, so Roa has no other option but to let this be. He does give the excuse of being a forgiving guy, but we all know he doesn't have any leverage here. His dog follows after him without any hesitation, so we are spared from these pathetic characters. The little girls bow their heads to Love Maya and Norin, thanking them both for saving them. The bunny girl says there's no need for thanks because it was Norin who actually saved them all. Our hero activates Chad mode and says that he simply arrived late and helped the useless brats understand their mistake. He tells Love Maya that she is far kinder and braver than him, so she should get the credit. After all, harming males is a felony in this world, so it's not like our hero had to take too much of a risk here. As expected, this makes Love Maya's heart melt, and she expresses her appreciation to her Oni-san. Later, we see the bunny girl sitting by the fountain as Norin gets her a drink. He asks her if she has calmed down now, and she says yes. Love Maya once again thanks her Oni-san for showing up when she needed him, which makes him realize he made a rather bold claim earlier. Our hero says sorry for calling Love Maya his fiancée without asking her first, because he felt that there would be no other way to make the boys back off. He did lie about his relationship with Love Maya, but she blushes because she seems to have something in mind. Norin wonders if he has made the bunny girl upset, but then she makes a cute face and asks him if he wants to do it for real. This takes Norin by surprise, and he gets all flustered about it. He asks Love Maya if she is joking around like her usual self, and then says that she should not tease him like that, as he won't fall for her tricks so easily anymore. At this very moment, Love Maya jumps at our hero and tells him that she is not teasing him at all. She then tells him that the men of this world look down on women, take too much pride in their gender, or are simply not interested in girls in the first place. However, her Oni-san is kind, gentle, and also a fellow reincarnated person from Earth. Actually, the most important thing to her is that he looks at girls in a naughty way due to him being a man of culture. Norin is once again caught off guard, and then Love Maya looks around before giving him a peek at her business. The bunny girl tells Norin that she knows he likes shady and lewd things like this, which is highly preferable to her. Of course, our hero does not know how to react to this, so he simply asks Love Maya what she is doing. He wonders why Love Maya is lifting her skirt when no one is around and checks the area to confirm that they are in a public park. Now, Love Maya fondles her pillows and says that she has totally fallen in love with her Oni-san, which is why she wishes to become his wife. It is literally impossible for a man of culture to refuse such a proposal from a bunny girl with big pillows, which is definitely an upgrade from Misha and Chai's, although no hate to them because they are also amazing girls. The shady look on Norin's face is more than enough to provide confirmation to Love Maya, so she hugs him and celebrates becoming his latest wife. She is extremely close to his body, so her pillows can be felt by Norin, who comments that they are really nice and soft. This causes his elephant to rise for Love Maya, and she can feel it poking at her, so she asks Norin if they should do it now to address his excitement. Our hero has no other option but to say yes, because his shoddiness clearly does not know any bounds anymore. Love Maya is most definitely a lot more proactive at such things than Misha or Chai's. But that's good for Norin because his elephant will never be bored with her around. Now that our hero has a third wife, will Misha and Chai's welcome her with open arms? Will there be a battle amongst the wives? And what on earth is going on with the stone monument or even the Ministry of Magic? Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this new story and want to see more if it to have all these questions resolved. Make sure to watch this clip as many times as you want to make it worth my effort to make another part. Okay then, I'll see you in the next one.